Hello guys and girls. In this tutorial we are going to talk about a very important topic of programming which can be used in various different platforms and which is actually still being used practically in various different companies, and it's quite simple to understand. In this tutorial I will explain you a very easy definition of what is debugging and how to use debugging in your daily lives of programming. You must have come across various different errors while doing the previous tutorials. In Python, for example, one of the famous tutorials you might have come across is the printing one, the printing strings, and you might have come across this error quite often when you're trying to do that. For example, when you do print A, this print A statement, it says it throws an error. It says name error, A is not defined. You did not initialize this variable, and the computer does not understand what this variable is. So you use debugging to actually solve this. A equals some variable. Let's assume it is A is a number. A equals 3. Just for convenience sake, let's initialize 3 more variables. B equals 4, C equals my name, D equals string. Now when you try to print A, you basically print out the value of A, which is 3, which was not the case when you just place this statement on the first line of your command prompt, which is print A. So what is debugging? Debugging is basically the process of eliminating errors in your while doing programming. So when taking this as a context, you found an error where A is not defined and the computer did not understand what to print. Then you actually use debugging to actually print that, initialize that variable and print that variable. Like you initialized 3 and you printed A, and it actually outputted as 3. So why don't you try out to initialize a variable and print that out and see what find any errors possible and try to understand what the errors are. I'll give you a second and hopefully you can find any errors while just trying to initialize a variable and printing it out. Alright. In the previous tutorials, you might have came across different various big concepts like looping, modules, and importing modules and stuff. Similarly, in those modules as well, there might be some errors that you might have came across, and I'll give you some examples on how to use debugging, the concept of debugging, in actually solving any errors that you might have came across while doing that problem. Like, let's create a for loop 1 to 10. I'm making a for loop from 1 to 10, and you're trying to add that add two variables and store it in Z. So do you guys think that this would output an error? I'll give you a second and think about it. Yes, this will give an error because U is not initialized. This case is actually quite similar to this. You're basically trying to add two variables and trying to store it in a third variable. Hence, since this variable is not initialized, the computer does not know what this variable is. Is it a string? Is it a number? It does not know what it is. Hence, it will throw an error. Name u is not defined. This u variable is not defined. How do you think? This is how you solve it. For x in range, this is one way to solve it. We basically add the same variable twice and store it in. The other way to solve it is initialize that variable, then create a for loop, then basically do z equals u plus x. Yes, this looks pretty good, but let's just assume that you want to see the result of this. Like, is it really adding variables? Is it subtracting variables? How do you know? Even though if you actually just did a plus sign, you want to actually watch it from your own eyes to actually understand or verify the results of this z value, whether it's really adding. For x in range 1 to 10, z equals x plus x print z. So do you guys think that this would give an error? No. This would be a perfect example of what a for loop is. It is initializing a for loop, then it's creating a variable, and it's storing two different values in it which are the same. So it's you are adding two numbers, x plus x, and you're printing it out for each addition. Look, this looks, hey, it actually outputs an error. It does not output an error, but it actually outputs some values. Z equals 1 plus 1, that is the first case. Then from 1 to 10, so it's 1, 2, 2 plus 2 is 4, 3 plus 3 is 6, 4 plus 4 is 8, 5 plus 5 is 10, 6 plus 6 is 12, and so on until 9. So it's 1 to 9, and 10 is exclusive, as discussed in the previous tutorial. So this is a very basic version of what exactly debugging is. What is debugging? To actually just sum it up, it is a process where you actually once you encounter any errors, you try to solve it through either by actually just trying to understand what the code, the programming code does, or just printing out by actually using print statements, just printing it out and actually trying to understand whether it's the right solution or it's a wrong solution. In this case, it actually printed out the right solutions. So you're basically adding the same number twice and you're printing out that. So from 1 to 9, 10, where 10 is exclusive, so it's basically 1 to 9. So it's 1 plus 1, which is 2. In the second case of the for loop, it's 2 plus 2, 4, 3 plus 3, 6, and so on. So hopefully you guys understood the basic definition of what debugging is, and hopefully you guys can use this concept effectively in your future programming encounters. Good luck and have a nice day.